Hi everyone. So far we have covered two sessions with respect to this particular subject, but still we haven't started with the syllabus yet. So I'm still giving some brief introduction about the subject. So in the first session, I gave introduction with respect to management. What is entrepreneurship, how you can adapt the different skills of management in any venture of your life, how it will lead you to success. Those are all the things we discussed in the first session. So in the second session, I gave some examples with respect to the criteria. What are all the criteria we learned in first session, how it can be implemented in these examples. So these are the things I covered in my second session. Also, I covered a brief explanation with respect to the syllabus. I covered the first part of module 1. So in this particular session, I will give a brief explanation with respect to the remaining syllabus I will be covering, that is the remaining part of module 1 and module 3. Once I complete this particular session, then from the next session onwards, we can start directly with the syllabus. So it will be much interesting for you people to understand at a greater depth when we start up the syllabus. So you will get a clearer and better picture once I start the syllabus in detail and in depth. So today I will cover the brief explanation of remaining part. So in our previous session, I gave details with respect to what management is and what are all the syllabus part we are going to cover with respect to management. So in this session, the remaining part of module 1, that is planning. So what actually do you mean by planning? Planning means you'll be making some plan. In the first session only, I'd already explained before going into any activity, you should make some plans. So if you're having a proper plan before you or in your mind, then your job becomes easier. You can work according to the plan. Once you start working according to the plan, the chances of getting through the job will be very much easier. So your planning, it is the beginning process of management, or I can say it is the first step of management. Before starting any management activity, the first step you need to take up is planning. How properly you will plan, how efficiently you will plan, then how efficiently you are going to implement the plan takes a major part of your success. So your planning becomes the beginning process or the first process of your management activity. I will give an example. In an organization, there will be many managers. There will be project managers, sale managers, and many such other managers. A manager must plan accordingly before he organizes things. These people should go to this department. This staff should go to this department. Before he starts to direct or communicate with those people, he need to have a proper plan. Once he makes a plan, then he can do the organization, then he can do the staffing part, then he can start communicating, then he can start directing. So a manager should first plan before doing all these activities. Once he formulates a proper plan, then he can perform all these activities such as organization, staffing, directing, or communicating. So this is what planning is. So the next step is, what is the importance of planning? Why you need to make a plan? You can ask a question, sir, I can proceed without making a plan. Well, is there a need to really make a plan? The answer is yes, you need to make a plan, because once you make a plan, the chances of getting succeeded or the risk you might going to face will be minimized to a greater extent. So in order to have lesser risk, that is to achieve risk minimization and to achieve greater success, it is always good to have a plan. And also it will give some control over the project you are taking. So once you make a plan, it facilitates the control. So these are all the things you will gain when you make a proper plan before starting with its implementation. So what are all the things you can gain? You can gain risk minimization, you can achieve greater success, you can facilitate control, you can have greater control over that particular project or work you are going to undertake. So that's why planning plays a major role before starting your management activity. Then next comes the question, are there any different types of planning? The question is, yes, there are many different types of planning. The first type of planning is vision, and the second one is mission. What might be the difference between those two things? Vision means whenever you are making the plans at the higher level of management, that is the CEO or the president or the vice president, those people who are making some plan or making some roadmap, that becomes the vision of the organization. That means we should concentrate only on so and so products. We should never go beyond these products. This should be the thing we should work on because we have some limitations. Let's not go ahead without thinking about our limitations. They will have some limitation. Based on the limitations they are having, they will do some, make some plans, they will make some policies. That is called as vision type of plan. Whereas your mission type of plan, it comes with different managers working in the organization. Those managers are going to take up steps in order to implement their plans. It is nowhere related to the entire organization. It is related to a particular project. That is the second type of plan, vision. So vision is the first type of plan, mission is the second type of plan. So these are all the things you need to remember with respect to planning. What is planning? It is the beginning process of your management activity. All managers should plan before they start the management activities such as organization, staffing, directing, or communicating. What is the importance? I explained already. The risk will be minimized to a greater extent. The chances of you getting succeeded in that project will be more. It will give you some control over the project you are undertaking. The two major types of plan were vision and mission. Then the next topic of this particular model is decision making. So while you are making decision making, you are making some, you should constantly be making it decisions while you are working in an organization or working in your life also. You should constantly make some decisions. Without making any decisions, you cannot come to the solution of a particular problem. There should be decisions made constantly. So these decisions can be broadly categorized into two types, that is programmed and non-programmed. Programmed in the sense, this type of problems have already arisen in the past. That means, suppose in an organization, an employee takes leaves for some amount of days. So you will be knowing what amount to deduct for the number of days he has taken leave. So it is programmed. You know what is the solution for that particular problem. You know what is the effect of that particular cause. You know in advance what needs to be done. You know in advance what decision to be taken for that particular cause or problem. Such type of decision making is called as programmed decision making. While you are taking decisions without any past experience, such decisions can be called as non-programmed decision making. So these are the two types of decisions you can make in an organization or in any of the ventures you are going to undertake. So this is the next topic with respect to decision making. And the last topic we can see with respect to decision making is what are all the different steps you need to follow whenever you are going into a process called as decision making. ಏನೆಲ್ಲ steps ಗಳನ್ನ follow ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? First, you should recognize your problem. Without recognizing what the problem is, what actually lies inside the problem, you cannot make a decision, right? First, you need to recognize what actually the problem is. Then only you can properly make a decision. So once problems are recognized, then you should make priorities, because there will be plenty of problems in many times. In such a case, you cannot solve all the problems at once. In such a time, you need to make priorities. Which is the problem which is having higher priority, that needs to be taken up first. So that problem needs to be solved first. So you need to recognize all your problems, then you need to prioritize all your problems. Once prioritization is done, you need to diagnose. It means what actually has gone wrong in the problem, what are all the remedial measures I can take. That diagnosis needs to be done. Once the diagnosis has completed, you can implement your solution and take the necessary action. What are all the solution for this particular problem? If that has been devised, then that solution can be implemented into actions. Once those actions are implemented, then you can do a follow-up whether those actions which are implemented are correct for those problems or not. If not correct, what might be the other solution for that particular problem? Those are all the things you can consider whenever you go through this particular process. So these are the major steps you need to consider with respect to decision making. Which are the major steps? First one is you need to recognize your problem, and the next one is if there are many problems, you need to prioritize your problems. Which problem should be solved first, which problem should be solved second. Based on the priority of a particular problem, you need to take up a problem in an order. Then you need to diagnose your problem. You should do proper diagnosis with respect to the problems. Then you need to come up with solutions for those particular problems. Once solutions are given up for a particular problem, then you need to convert those solutions into proper actions. So once they are converted, then the next step is to do a follow-up whether those solutions are correct for that problem or not ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪುನಃ ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. So I will go in detail when I take up this particular model. At that point, you will get a clearer and better understanding with respect to all this concept. Then the next module I will be taking is module 3. So in module 3, the two main topics which we will be covering is social responsibility and entrepreneurship. So what actually is social responsibility? What actually is entrepreneurship? Another, I will give a brief explanation in this particular session. So once I take up the model, we shall go in detail. So social responsibility, andre, that means a person starts up a business. He can become successful in that particular business, but he may not be socially responsible. So even if he is making lots of profits and lots of gains, he may not be socially responsible. That means apart from making profits on gains in any profession or in any business, he should also be socially responsible. What do you mean by socially responsible? He should conduct his business in such a way it is not having any effect on the public welfare. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅವನ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್? Then you should not cause inflation in the market. Inflation, what is inflation? Inflation is such a thing if the price of a particular product is increasing day by day or month by month, that is called as inflation. That inflation needs to be curbed. So that is also socially responsible. So if he is taking up a business which is increasing the product to a greater extent, that is not being socially responsible. So these are the things you need to be following in order to become socially responsible. Public welfare affect ಮಾಡಬಾರದು, ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡೋ ರೀತಿ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವನು ಸೋಷಿಯಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. The next point is what is the different groups in social responsibility. So ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್. ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್. ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್. So I should be socially responsible towards my consumer. I should be socially responsible towards my consumer ಅಂದ್ರೆ I should produce quality products. ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆಮ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ದೆಮ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. Even though if I am collecting a large amount from them and I am not giving quality products, I am not being socially responsible ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. So in order to be socially responsible, I should be giving quality products. Then only I will be socially responsible. And towards the employees, how I can be socially responsible? ಸಪೋಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿಗೆ 1 year ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೈಕ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ ಲೀವ್ ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಮಾರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾರಲಿ ಬೇಕು, ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ then I will be socially responsible towards the employees ಅಂತ. So in an organization you can identify different groups and you can decide how you can be socially responsible towards those group. ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ socially responsible ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಡಿಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಡಿಟ್? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಡಿಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವೇನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ದು ಏನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ CA ಏನಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಆಡಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಡಿಟ್. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಡಿಟ್ ಈಸ್ how you are impacting the public welfare, how you are impacting the social things, that also needs to be audited. You might be profitable in your venture, but if you are affecting the social perspective, then that needs to be audited. Such an audit is called as social audit. Aduna navu social audit antane karkobodu. And the next one is ethics. That means you need to follow some principles. Whenever you are taking up a business, there should be some principles. Without following any principles, you cannot take up any business. So these are all the things we'll be covering in the first part of module 3, which is social responsibility. If you're running any business, then it is not at all enough to make profit in your business. Apart from making profit in the business, you should be socially responsible. Without being socially responsible, there is no need of making gains in the organization. So this is what will be explained in module 3 in the first part. We will go in detail with respect to all those concepts when I take up this particular module. So in the later of module 3, we will be dealing with entrepreneurship. First, I need you people to understand what is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur andre eno? So the best definition we can give for an entrepreneur is the one who visualizes things and the one who implement or actualizes those things. He can be called as an entrepreneur. ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನ ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಗೆ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಎ ನೇಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. So this process of a normal person becoming an entrepreneur can be called as entrepreneurship. So why we need entrepreneurship in a country? ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟ್ರಿಲಿ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಹೊಸ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಕಂಟ್ರಿದು GDP, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್, ಆ GDP ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ country will takes place in a faster pace. Country ಏನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಪೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are the major things of entrepreneurship. This is the importance of entrepreneurship. Who is an entrepreneur? A person who visualizes and actualizes things is called as an entrepreneur. The process where a normal person becomes an entrepreneur is called as entrepreneurship. Whenever there is an entrepreneurship in a country, it increases the GDP of a country, it generates employment, ultimately it will lead to the development of a country. So next the topic is, are there some concepts with respect to entrepreneurship? There are some concepts, because entrepreneurship there is no clear cut definition. Now generation evolve ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ different peoples are categorized as entrepreneurs. Early the persons who undertake difficult task, ಯಾರು ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಅವನ್ನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಕ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಮೊದಲು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋರ್ನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂದ್ರು, ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋರ್ನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂದ್ರು, ಯಾರು ಇವಾಗ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜೊತೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋರು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಅದು ಏನೇನು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಸಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಆ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ if I don't have those characteristics, I will like to develop those characteristics. What are all those characteristics? I will just give a brief of what are all those characteristics. You should have creativity. You should never be idle. You should know what the market demands, market ಏನು ಬೇಕು, market ಏನು necessity ಇದೆ, ಆ creativity ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. Once you have that particular creativity, then you can make marvelous changes. Those changes will have a huge impact on the market and you will become an entrepreneur. Creativity is must. Second one, you should have dynamism. That means you should be in a position to react to the situation as quickly as possible. Other one situation arise aitu andre, you should not take longer amount of time to react to a situation. So you need to solve the problems as quickly as possible. You need to have leadership qualities. You need to take control over your employees. You need to know how to properly utilize the resources, how to properly utilize your manpower. Next, you need to build a team, because a particular individual cannot be an entrepreneur without the support of his employees or any resources. So there should be proper team building. There should be proper rapport within the team members. So once he has all these necessary characteristics, he can surely become an entrepreneur. So which are the major characteristics I just told you, people? First one is creativity. Second one is dynamism. Third one is leadership. And the last one is team building. So these are the major characteristics of an entrepreneur. Next, are there any classification of entrepreneur? ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್. ಸೊ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೇಮೇ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಇವನು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇನೋವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಮಿಟೇಟಿವ್. ಇದು ಉಲ್ಟಾ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇವನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಗಳು, ಅದೇನು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಮಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆರ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಬಿಯನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್. ಫ್ಯಾಬಿಯನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೊಆಕ್ಟಿವ್. ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಹಳೆ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರ ಪ್ರೊಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. You will be following the past models. You won't be doing any new things. Such a type of entrepreneur is called as Fabian entrepreneur anta karitare. And the last one is drone entrepreneur. Even though there are opportunities, you will maintain status quo. What do you mean by maintaining status quo? Andre ನನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ನಾನು ಇದೇ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಏನು ಹೊಸ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ನ ನನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ such a type of entrepreneur ಗೆ we can call it as drone entrepreneur. So these are the four major types of entrepreneur. The first one is innovative, imitative, Fabian, and the last one is drone entrepreneur. So this is the classification with respect to entrepreneur. ಆಮೇಲೆ some people will have some myths with respect to entrepreneur. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಕೇಪಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೆಲವು ಮಿತ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮೊದಲೇ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮೊದಲೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಲಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲೇ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಲಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಬಾರ್ನ್ ರಿಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್. You can certainly become an entrepreneur if you are having the characteristics I just mentioned. If you are having creativity, if you are having dynamism, if you are having leadership quality, if you are having team building quality, then you can definitely become an entrepreneur. No one can stop you from becoming an entrepreneur if you possess those necessary skills. So idu myths galna you should remove them. And the next thing is, are there any models with respect to entrepreneur? Models ಗಳು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ entrepreneurship ಅಲ್ಲಿ? There are two models, psychological ಮತ್ತೆ social. That means suppose an individual wants to become an entrepreneur, he needs to fight himself first. He needs to overcome the prejudices, what are all the bad assumptions he is having. ಸೊ ಆ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ, ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಜುಡೈಸಸ್ ನ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್, ಅವ್ನು ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವರಿಂದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆಮ್, then that social perspective is affected, then he cannot become an entrepreneur. So ee tara models galinda then he can surely become an entrepreneur. And the last point is, are there any problems which are faced by entrepreneur? Entrepreneur enaru problems galna face madbeka? Surely he will face problems, but those problems are nothing for an entrepreneur, because he has already become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅವನಿಗೇನೋ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗೋಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಅಷ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೇನೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ to solve them. So without solving them, you cannot further grow as an entrepreneur. So only when you can solve those problems, you can certainly grow as an entrepreneur. So these are the things we will be discussing in module 3. So in module 1, we will be covering management and planning part. In module 3, we will be covering the social responsibilities and the entrepreneurship part. So I need you people to watch all the 3 sessions. So first session ali I explained why you need to learn this particular subject, how it can help you in your life as well as in your ventures or any job you are taking up. Another first session I held. In my second session I gave some examples. When I started with brief explanation of module 1, then I concluded with the brief explanation of remaining part of module 1 and module 3. So you need to write all these things in your notes. So whenever the class starts, I'll be checking your notes. So you need to write all these things in your class notes. So in my next session onwards, I'll be starting with the syllabus. That I will be starting with the first topic of module 1, that is nature and functions of management. First I will give some definitions with respect to management. Then I will be taking up nature and functions of management. So my sincere request for you people is to watch all the 3 sessions. So watch it again and again and again. Still, if you are getting any doubts with respect to any session, you can call or ping me. So thank you so much. Thank you again.